A very good evening to all. I'm Dr. Uttara Mohan from IIP Digital team. We are live on IIP India YouTube channel. I request all to subscribe to this channel to get regular notification for our webinars. Today's webinar topic is Endurance Cycling, Just a Mind Game with resource person Mr. Vijay Gavne. This webinar is being organized by IIP Women's Cell Sangli District team. The moderators for today are Dr. Manal Anthikar, Sangli District Coordinator, Dr. Sheetal Lime and Dr. Sneha Katke, Sangli District Sub-Coordinators. Now I request all to please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And now we'll start with the webinar. I request the Sangli team to please take over.
नमस्कार, मी डॉक्टर शीतल अनिकेत लिमये आपणा सर्वांचं आजच्या या वेबिनार मध्ये स्वागत करीत आहे. वेबिनारला सुरुवात करण्यापूर्वी मी आपणा सर्वांना इंडियन असोसिएशन ऑफ फिजिओथेरपिस्ट म्हणजेच IIP बद्दलची थोडी माहिती देऊ इच्छिते. तर IIP ची स्थापना 1955 साली झालेली असून ही एक नॉन प्रॉफिटेबल नॉन गव्हर्नमेंटल ऑर्गनायझेशन आहे जी फिजिओथेरपीला विविध नॅशनल आणि इंटरनॅशनल प्लॅटफॉर्म मध्ये रिप्रेझेंट करत असते. इट इज अ मेंबर ऑफ वर्ल्ड फिजिओथेरपी जी एक इंटरनॅशनल ऑर्गनायझेशन आहे. इंडियन असोसिएशन ऑफ फिजिओथेरपीच्या अंडर 5000हून अधिक रजिस्टर्ड फिजिओ आहेत. त्याचबरोबरीने 300 इन्स्टिट्यूट सुद्धा रजिस्टर्ड आहे. इट एम्स ॲट प्रोव्हाइडिंग क्वालिटी ऑफ फिजिओथेरपी एज्युकेशन अँड प्रॅक्टिस इन इंडिया, इम्प्रूव्हिंग अवेअरनेस अँड हेल्थ ऑफ जनरल पब्लिक. डॉक्टर संजीव जहा सर हे इंडियन असोसिएशन ऑफ फिजिओथेरपिस्टचे प्रेसिडेंट आहेत. वुमन्स सेल जी आहे, जी IIP ची वुमन्स सेल जी आहे ती स्पेशली महिला फिजिओथेरपिस्ट करतांची स्पेशल ब्रांच आहे जी विविध प्रकारचे अकॅडमिक, क्लिनिकल आणि सोशल ऍक्टिव्हिटी घेण्यामध्ये कार्यरत असते. इट फंक्शन अंडर द नॅशनल हेड जे आहेत डॉक्टर रुची वाशने मॅम. IIP चे 5 झोन आहेत ज्याच्या पश्चिम विभागाच्या हेड आहेत डॉक्टर पूजा कांबळे मॅम. महाराष्ट्र स्टेटच्या ज्या कोऑर्डिनेटर्स आहेत ते आहेत डॉक्टर सुवर्णा गणवीर मॅम, जॉईंट कोऑर्डिनेटर डॉक्टर स्नेहल पटेल मॅम, सब कोऑर्डिनेटर डॉक्टर उत्तरा मोहन, डॉक्टर प्रिया कारंडे आणि डॉक्टर निराली सिंघवी. आजचा हा जो वेबिनार आहे जो श्री विजय गव्हाणे सर आपल्याला सांगतायत, विषय आहे एन्ड्युरन्स सायकलिंग जस्ट अ माइंड गेम. हा वेबिनार IIPWC सांगली डिस्ट्रिक्ट तर्फे आयोजित केलेला असून याच्या कोऑर्डिनेटर आहेत डॉक्टर मनाल मॅम, सब कोऑर्डिनेटर डॉक्टर स्नेहा कटके मॅम आणि मी डॉक्टर शीतल लिमे. तर आपण वेबिनारला सुरुवात करण्यापूर्वी आपल्या अतिथींची जरा माहिती घेऊया. तर आजचे जे आपले प्रमुख अतिथी आहेत, जे स्पीकर आहेत आपले श्री विजय गव्हाणे सर, यांच्याबद्दलची मी माहिती देते. ते बाय प्रोफेशन ही इज अन IT इंजिनियर. 2017 आणि 19 साली त्यांनी ट्रेकिंगला एक छंद म्हणून सुरुवात केलेली असून 44 गळ त्यांनी चढाई केलेली आहे, ज्यामध्ये रॉक क्लाइम्बिंग आणि रॅफलिंग इन्क्लुडेड होतं. त्यांनी सायकलिंगला 2019 साली सुरुवात केली विथ NEF एन्ड्युरो ॲडव्हेंचर रेस ऑफ 25 किलोमीटर्स अँड 50 किलोमीटर्स, ज्यामध्ये सायकलिंग, ट्रेकिंग आणि स्विमिंग इन्क्लुडेड होती. त्यानंतर 2020 मध्ये त्यांनी पुणे टू कन्याकुमारीची 1680 किलोमीटर्सची राईड चक्क 11 दिवसांमध्ये पूर्ण केलेली आहे. त्यांना सुपर रॅन्ड्युनर या खिताबाने सुद्धा सन्मानित केलेले आहे फॉर हिज लॉंग डिस्टन्स राईड ऑफ 200, 300, 400 अँड 600 किलोमीटर ऑल इन 2021. काश्मीर ते कन्याकुमारी 3600 किलोमीटरचा न्यू रेकॉर्ड त्यांनी केला आहे, जो फास्टेस्ट ट्रायो आहे 14 डेज अँड 20 आवर्सचा जानेवारी 2022 मध्ये, ज्याची नोंद वर्ल्ड रेकॉर्ड, इंडिया बुक ऑफ रेकॉर्ड आणि एशिया बुक ऑफ रेकॉर्ड मध्ये सुद्धा नोंदवलेली आहे. तर असे आपल्याला आज अतिथी लाभलेले असताना मला आशा आहे की आपल्या सर्वांना या वेबिनारचा फार चांगला फायदा होईल. त्यामुळे मी आता सरांना रिक्वेस्ट करते की सर तुम्ही आपल्या वेबिनारला प्लीज सुरुवात करावी. सो ओव्हर टू यू सर. थँक्यू.
खूप खूप धन्यवाद डॉक्टर शीतल. आणि आपल्याला जसं माहिती आहे की फिजिओथेरपिस्ट आणि सायकलिस्ट किंवा रनर म्हणा किंवा एनी ऍस्थेटिक स्पोर्ट राईट, हे खूप जवळचं नातं आहे राईट. त्यामुळे मला खूप आनंद आहे की आज मला इथे इन्व्हाइट केलं आहे आणि या माझ्या आवडत्या विषयासाठी. तर एक मॅडमनी माझं इंट्रोडक्शन केलेलं आहे, पण इन ॲडिशन टू दॅट आय एम प्राऊडली असोसिएटेड विथ नावर असोसिएशन, जो आमचा एक पुण्यामध्ये ॲथलेटिक क्लब आहे, ज्याच्यामध्ये आम्ही लोकांना मोटिवेट आणि इन्स्पायर करतो ऍक्टिव्ह राहण्यासाठी, मेनली रनिंग म्हणा, सायकलिंग म्हणा किंवा स्विमिंग किंवा एनी ऍक्टिव्हिटी. ठीक आहे. तर पुढच्या एक 25-30 मिनिटावरती आपण एन्ड्युरन्स सायकलिंग वरती बोलणार आहोत. आय एम नॉट अ व्हेरी गुड स्पीकर, बट आय विल ट्राय टू टॉक अबाउट माय एक्सपिरियन्स आणि माझा एक्सपिरियन्स तुम्हाला कसा हेल्प करू शकतो ते आपण पाहणार आहोत. आणि या सेशनच्या शेवटी तुम्हाला काही क्वेश्चन असेल तर आपण त्याच्यावरती बघूया. ओके. तर सायकलिंग काय आहे बेसिकली? सायकलिंग असो, रनिंग असो किंवा कुठलाही स्पोर्ट असो किंवा कुठले पण आवड असू शकते आपल्याला, इट्स जस्ट अ पॅशन. आणि पॅशन काय की इट इज बेसिकली समथिंग दॅट गिव्ह यू एनर्जी, राईट, पॉझिटिव्ह एनर्जी, राईट. आणि त्यामुळे ही जी असते पॅशन ही आपण खूप छानरित्या जपायला पाहिजे. आणि ही जर सायकलिंग असेल, रनिंग असेल किंवा अशी कुठली फिजिकल ऍक्टिव्हिटी असेल तर इट इज नथिंग लाईक इट, कारण की ही तुम्हाला फिट राहण्यासाठी मदत करणार आहे तुम्हाला थ्रू आउट द लाईफ. आजकालच्या आपण आयुष्यामध्ये पाहतो की बरेचसे आजार आहेत किंवा बरेचसे बीपी आहे किंवा शुगर आहे, बरेचशा गोष्टी आहेत, राईट. त्यामुळे असा जर छंद असेल आपल्याला तर डेफिनेटली इट इज गोइंग टू सेव्ह अस अँड कीप अस फिट थ्रू आउट आवर लाईफ टाईम. ओके. तर आता एन्ड्युरन्स सायकलिंगचा जो विषय आहे, एन्ड्युरन्स सायकलिंग आपण कशाला म्हणतो? ही एक लॉंग डिस्टन्स सायकलिंग आहे, ज्याच्यामध्ये आपण कमीत कमी 100 किलोमीटर किंवा त्याच्यावरती सायकलिंग करतो, राईट. आपण सुरुवातीला जेव्हा सायकलिंग चालू करतो तेव्हा आपल्याला ते नंबर खूप मोठे वाटतात. इव्हन 20 किलोमीटर, 50 किलोमीटर पण खूप मोठे वाटतात. पण ज्यावेळेस तुम्ही चालू करता सायकलिंग आणि हळूहळू प्रॅक्टिस करता त्यामुळे आपल्याला ते सोपं वाटायला लागतं. ठीक आहे. तर आपण स्ट्रॅटेजी कशी करायला पाहिजे एन्ड्युरन्स सायकलिंगची? ज्या लोकांना, ज्या रायडर्सला एन्ड्युरन्स सायकलिंग करण्याची इच्छा आहे त्यांनी कशी करायला पाहिजे हे माझ्या साईडने थोडेसे गायडन्स आहेत. द व्हेरी फर्स्ट थिंग इज टू सेट द बिग गोल्स, राईट. आपल्याकडे बिग गोल्स मला तुम्हाला आयर्नमॅन आहे, तुम्हाला बऱ्याचशा सायकलिंग इव्हेंट्स आहेत इंटरनॅशनल लेवलच्या, टूर दी फ्रान्स आहे किंवा एलियल इव्हेंट आहे जी लंडनला होतो. त्याच्यामध्ये ही सगळ्या एन्ड्युरन्स सायकलिंग इव्हेंट्स आहेत. त्याच्यामध्ये एक टाइम बाउंड इव्हेंट असते ज्याच्यामध्ये तुम्हाला स्पेसिफिक टाइम ड्युरेशन मध्ये तो डिस्टन्स कव्हर करायचा. त्याच्यामध्ये भरपूर तुम्हाला एलिव्हेशन असतात किंवा रफ रोड असतात किंवा बरेच टेक्निकल चॅलेंजेस येतात. तर हे सगळे तिथे ओव्हरकम करून तुम्हाला तेवढ्या टाइम ड्युरेशन मध्ये राईड कम्प्लीट करायला लागते. ठीक आहे. तर सुरुवातीला जर आपण एक मोठा गोल ठेवला देन वी कॅन स्टार्ट प्रॅक्टिसिंग अराउंड इट, राईट. आणि मग गोल ठेवल्यानंतर नेक्स्ट स्टेप काय करायची आहे तर छोट्या छोट्या स्टेप्स घ्यायच्या, त्याच्याने आपल्याला प्रॅक्टिस आपली चालू होईल, राईट. आपण भरपूर लोकल चॅलेंजेस असतात किंवा लोकल इव्हेंट असतात, लोकल क्लबच्या इव्हेंट असतात किंवा स्ट्रावा जी ऍप्लिकेशन आहे ज्याच्यामध्ये इट्स वन ऑफ द मोस्ट पॉप्युलर ऍप्लिकेशन टू ट्रॅक ऑल द ऍथलेटिक युअर रेकॉर्ड. त्यामध्ये भरपूर लोकल चॅलेंजेस असतात जे तुम्ही करून यू कॅन कीप युअर सेल्फ टार्गेटेड टू युअर बिगर गोल. ठीक आहे. त्याच्यामध्ये जसं मी म्हणलो की बीआरएम पण असतात. बीआरएम इज इंटरनॅशनल लेवल इव्हेंट आहे ज्याच्यामध्ये तुम्हाला 200, 300, 400, 600 किलोमीटर किंवा 1000 किलोमीटरच्या पण टाइम बाउंड सायकलिंग इव्हेंट असतात त्या तुम्हाला कम्प्लीट करायला लागतात. सर्टिफिकेट फॉर either a random or a super random if you complete all the rides in one particular year. आता याच्यामध्ये सगळ्यात जास्त महत्वाची गोष्ट काय आहे तर ती आहे कन्सिस्टन्सी. तर तुम्ही एक महिना, 2 महिने सायकल चालवली, 3 महिने सायकल चालवली आणि नंतर परत गॅप ठेवला 1 महिन्याचा, दॅट इज नॉट गोइंग टू हॅपन. ठीक आहे. तुम्हाला कन्सिस्टन्सी पाहिजे. जर तुम्हाला गोल तुम्ही सायकलिंग करायचा आहे ते फक्त सायकलिंगसाठीच नाही तर कुठल्या पण गोष्टीसाठी हे लागू होतं की आपल्याला कन्सिस्टन्सी मेंटेन करायची आहे. यू ऍटलीस्ट राईड फॉर सम डिस्टन्स, कीप युअर सेल्फ ऍक्टिव्ह, कीप युअर मसल्स स्ट्रेच, राईट, सो दॅट यू कॅन स्लोली मूव्ह टुवर्ड्स युअर बिग गोल. ओके. तर हे सगळं करत असताना आपल्याला जी आपण राईड करतोय वी हॅव टू एन्जॉय अवर राईड. ओके. कारण की जेव्हा तुम्ही राईड चालू करता यू कीप ऑन इन्क्रीजिंग युअर डिस्टन्स ऑन अ वीकली बेसिस किंवा मंथली बेसिस, राईट. त्यावेळेस तुम्हाला इट इज व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट टू एन्जॉय युअर राईड. दॅट यू डोंट तुम्हाला दुसऱ्या दिवशी असं नाही वाटायला पाहिजे की माझे पाय दुखतात किंवा बॅक पेन होते आणि इट इज आय एम नॉट रेडी फॉर द नेक्स्ट डे राईड. ठीक आहे. त्याच्यामुळे तुम्हाला बऱ्याचशा गोष्टी करू शकतात. म्हणजे मोटिवेशन जे आहे, सेल्फ मोटिवेशन जे आहे ते बरेच वेगवेगळे प्रकार असतात. तुम्ही म्हणजे त्याच्यामध्ये तुम्ही अनएक्सप्लोर्ड रूट जे आहेत तिथे तुम्ही सायकलिंग करू शकता. एक छोटासा सायकलिंग ग्रुप क्रिएट करू शकता किंवा यू कॅन जॉईन अ क्लब लाईक मावळ असोसिएशन, राईट. सायकलिंगच्या थ्रू आउट द राईड मध्ये जर तुम्ही 100ची राईड करत असाल तर एक छोटे छोटे ब्रेक घ्या. त्यामुळे तुम्हाला थोडंसं रिलीफ मिळेल आणि यू कॅन कंटिन्यू प्रॅक्टिस अगेन. फोटोज काढा, व्हिडिओज काढा, सोशल मीडियावर शेअर करा, राईट. जस्ट मेक युअर सेल्फ हिरो, राईट, सो दॅट यू रिमेंबर दॅट राईड अँड यू युअर सेल्फ मोटिवेट युअर सेल्फ, राईट, फॉर द नेक्स्ट बिगर राईड. ओके. अगेन पॅम्परिंग युअर सेल्फ इज अनदर, म्हणजे स्वतःचे लाड करायचे बेसिकली, राईट. कारण की आपण 100 किलोमीटरची पहिली राईड केली दॅट इज व्हेरी स्पेशल फॉर यू, राईट. त्यानंतर छोटी सायकलिंग जर्सी घ्या किंवा व्हॉट एव्हर तुम्हाला सायकल घ्यायची असेल चांगली ती घ्या किंवा लॉंग डिस्टन्स पॅरेड शॉट असतात, ते घ्या. आपण या विषयावर परत बोलणार आहोत. पण जस्ट पॅम्पर युअर सेल्फ सो दॅट तुम्ही स्वतःला मोटिवेट करताय आणि देन यू आर मेकिंग युअर सेल्फ रेडी फॉर द नेक्स्ट बिगर राईड. ओके, तर आता आपण म्हणतोय की मला कुठल्या प्रकारची बाईक पाहिजे. आता तसं म्हणलं तर आपली कुठली पण साधी पण सिंगल स्पीड बाईक जरी असेल, दॅट इज ऑल्सो कॅन बी यूज फॉर एनी लॉंग राईड. ओके, पण आपण इथे परफॉर्मन्सची गोष्ट करतो, राईट. त्यामुळे कुठलीही चांगला परफॉर्मन्स देत असेल तर आपल्याला बाईक पण चांगली पाहिजे. तर त्याच्यामध्ये रोड बाईक जर आपण बोललो, कारण की आपण जर टॉकिंग अबाउट लॉंग डिस्टन्स, त्याच्यामध्ये दोन प्रकार आहेत, एन्ड्युरन्स जॉमेट्री आणि रेस जॉमेट्री. एन्ड्युरन्स जे आहे बेसिकली थोडंसं अपराईट पोझिशन असते, थोडंसं कम्फर्ट शेप असतो आणि इट विल हेल्प यू फॉर द लॉंग डिस्टन्स राईड. वेर रेस जॉमेट्री जी असते ही खूप अग्रेसिव्ह असते, एरोडायनामिक शेप असतो, वेट जास्त कमी असतं आणि इट विल हेल्प यू टू मूव्ह फास्टर सो दॅट यू कॅन गो फॉर द रेस. ठीक आहे. तर याच्यामध्ये महत्वाचं काय, आता आपण इथे एन्ड्युरन्स जॉमेट्री म्हणतोय किंवा रेस जरी म्हणालो तरी त्याच्यामध्ये द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टंट थिंग इज तुमच्या बाईकची साईज, फ्रेम साईज ज्याला म्हणतो आपण, राईट. तर तुमच्या हाईटनुसार एक बेसिक गोष्ट आहे की तुमच्या हाईटनुसार तुमची फ्रेम साईज डिफाईन केली जाते. ओके, आणि त्याच्या पलीकडे यू ऑल्सो हॅव बाईक फिट. तर बाईक फिट मध्ये काय केलं जातं की तुम्हाला तुमची बाईक बेसिकली तुमच्या पूर्ण फिजिकल जॉमेट्रीनुसार ऍडजस्ट केली जाते. नॉट जस्ट सॅडल हाईट, पण तुमचं हँडल बार म्हणा किंवा बाकीच्या सगळ्या गोष्टी ऍडजस्ट केल्या जातात सो दॅट इट विल गिव्ह यू कम्फर्ट फॉर द लॉंग डिस्टन्स राईड. ते थोडंसं एक्सपेन्सिव्ह असतं, तुम्हाला करायचं असेल करा, अदरवाईज जस्ट चुजिंग द राईट फ्रेम साईज ऍज पर युअर हाईट इज मोर दॅन सफिशियंट. ओके, तर आता आपण ऍक्सेसरीजचं जर गोष्ट बोललो तर आपल्याकडे भरपूर सारे ऍक्सेसरीज आहेत. यू जस्ट नेम इट अँड यू कॅन गो अँड बाय इट. बाईक कम्प्युटर आहे किंवा पॅरेड शॉर्ट्स आहेत, गॉगल्स आहेत, शूज आहेत. शूज मध्ये वेगवेगळे प्रकार येतात. पण आपल्याला मिनिमम काय गोष्टी पाहिजेत त्या आपल्याला इथे पाहिजे. आपण ज्यावेळेस लॉंग डिस्टन्स राईड करतो त्यावेळेस आपल्याला परफॉर्मन्स द्यायचा आहे. वी नीड टू मेंटेन आवर स्पीड, राईट. त्यामुळे
एक्सक्यूज मी सर, सर कॅन आय इंटरप्ट यू प्लीज? सर तुमचा आवाज थोडा क्लिअर नाहीये किंवा जरा कमी आहे. इफ यू कॅन स्पीक थोडंसं लाऊडर किंवा स्पीक नियर द स्पीकर प्लीज.
ठीक आहे.
या
ओके, इट बेटर ना?
या थोडस, हा.
ओके, ऑलराईट. ओके,
सर सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट सर. सर ऍक्च्युली चॅटबॉक्स मध्ये बरेचसे असे पार्टिसिपेंट्स आहेत ज्यांना मराठी जरा कळत नाहीये, तर मध्ये
Okay.
जास्त आपण इंग्लिश मध्ये हे केलं तर बरं होईल सर.
ओके, ओके,
डिमांड
ऑलराईट.
चॅटबॉक्स येस
ठीक
सर.
आहे. सॉरी फॉर दॅट. मी चॅट बॉक्स पाहिला नाही, बट आय डू अंडरस्टँड. So I hope
Yes.
whatever we discussed so far, whatever I spoke so far is clear. If not, I'll just quickly go through it. So what I was talking about is, when you are strategizing for the endurance cycling, right? You start with setting up a big goal, and then you start practicing it with taking small steps, right? Be it local challenges or any club events or DRMs, etc. The important point is to maintain the consistency. Okay. Then the next part is enjoying your rides, because you need to remember that ride, and then you need to motivate yourself to for the next ride. And there are different ways to do that. It's all up to you which one to take up. Pampering yourself is important because you are doing it for your fitness. You are doing it for the, you are basically saving the CO2 right in the environment. Actually, you are basically saving the environment. So you need to pamper yourself so that you can also ride more next time. Okay. And then we are talking about the bike geometries. Here we are talking about road bike basically, because we are talking about endurance cycling for the long distance. So the key thing is to ensure that you have a right size of bike. Otherwise, it may damage your body. It may damage your knees. It may damage your back, okay, if you don't have the right size of the bike. There is something called as bike fit. In that the entire bike gets adjusted as per your body structure, right? So that you can give a better performance. It is slightly costlier, but it is up to you if you want to go for that. Okay. So now, when you're talking about accessories, there are a lot of things which are available in the market, specific to bikes, be it clothes, be it helmet, different types of helmets. But the key thing is you need to keep yourself light as much as possible, right? That will give you better performance, better speed, right? The minimum required thing what you have is you need to have the spare tube, you need to have a small air pump, right? Puncture kit, lights definitely, because in the dark you need rear and front lights. small tool set basically, which can have almost everything. So I have something to show you here. This is my favorite tool, which has screwdriver and almost all the Allen keys which are required for a bike. And the key thing in this tool set is basically it has a chain breaker. Okay, so what it does is if your chain gets broke, right, it can fix that chain immediately if you have all the parts, of that chain. So these are some tricks, right? Even for the puncture kit, right? The small thing you can carry with your bike doesn't weight more and not even much costlier also, right? So these are the things which are very important. You buy the key things which are important, small in size, less in weight, and that will just help you to reduce the overall weight. Okay, so now we're talking about the nutrition and hydration, right? Which is very, very important for any athletic, sport, be it running, cycling, swimming, or anything basically. So now, when you are talking about cycling, right? Nutrition is as good as your daily practice. We just talked about making, being consistent, right? So along with that, nutrition is very, very important. You need to watch your food intake when you start your cycling, when you set your big goals and start practicing against that. Uh, Mainly, if you now, let's say I planned for a big ride, let's say day after tomorrow, right? And then I need to really watch my food intake for tomorrow, right? The day before your ride, big ride. Keep yourself, eat light food, avoid junk food, or rather do not, have junk foods or baked items, right? But the other thing which is important is maintaining sufficient protein intake in your routine diet, not just before the ride. That is another important part. Be it eggs or there are a lot of vegetarian options are also available for protein. So you just need to make sure that you need to you have a sufficient intake of protein in your routine diet throughout your practice. Okay, so when you go for a endurance cycling, right, you're cycling for long duration, you're cycling for the long distance. So the important thing is you need to have a high energy food. Okay, so now which are the high energy foods and why do you need them? Right? If you are going to give a good performance and for that you need to have a lot of energy. So bananas are a very simple and basic example of high energy food which you can carry easily in your back packet and then have it whenever you want, whenever you are hungry throughout your ride. Okay, that is one of the basic and good example, easy to carry, easy to buy. Apart from that, you can have dry fruits or nuts also. That can also help you to give you instant energy. You can have a lot of there are a lot of products available in the market like instant energy gels and protein bars, etc. It is all up to you if you want to go for that. Now, when you're talking about hydration, so when I started my cycling, when I started riding for long distance, when I heard about hydration, I was thinking it is just about water. So you just need to keep yourself hydrated. Keep your water intake sufficient so that you don't get hydrated. But it's not true. It is just not water, right? Because when you sweat, you release a lot of different minerals, right? And that you need to ensure that you get them back refilled in your body as early as possible. So you have to keep yourself hydrated to give your best performance. So for example, electrolytes are the very important for your ride. You can just carry them. You can use if you have a two bottle holders for your bike. You can have one with electrolyte water and one with plain water, and you can use it alternatively. There are several good products available in the market. As I said, Fast Enough is there. Then if you want to go for a simple and cheaper one, you can just go for the Energal, right? You can buy it from any medical shop. So it's not very expensive thing if you don't want to make it. If you want to make it expensive, you have a lot of options to buy, right? Just to give better performance. So I've given some tips here, which I also do follow. The key thing is you don't have to wait until you are thirsty, right? Before you drink a water or before you drink electrons. You have to drink before you're thirsty, and also you have to eat before you get hungry. You don't have to wait until you're hungry and then you're completely drained, and then you just search for any restaurant on the way for Same thing when you're talking about drinking. It's just not like drinking a whole lot of water at the same time, but drink a little and often, right? Otherwise, it may again impact your performance, right? So you can choose maybe 15-20 kilometers. You can have some sip of water and then continue your ride. You may want to have it while on the bike, or maybe just stop for a couple of seconds and then do it. But it is very, very important. Otherwise, if you get dehydrated, it is going to impact your performance. Okay, you may get cramps, you may get different injuries, and it is just going to impact on your performance. So hydration and nutrition is very, very important for your long distance ride. Also, what people do is there are a lot of people who drink a lot before the ride, right? Because you keep your body as much as cool as right, and that will give you the best performance. If you keep on losing the fluids, then it is going to improve the increase the temperature of your body, and then it will impact on the performance. So it is now there's a practice that people drink a lot before the ride, and then of course on the ride it is usual to keep yourself hydrated. Okay, stretching, another important topic, and we have all the doctors around us in this session. So the warm up and cool down, right? That's as we talk, usually. So warm up is important because you need to, get yourself, get the muscles toned, and they make them ready for your activity. Okay, so it is very important to do some warm up stretches. It will just help you to start easily. And then along with warm up, when we talk about cooling down, right, it is also important to get your body back to what it was before the ride, right? For example, pre-existing your heart rate and blood pressure. So that is where the cooling down will happen. Okay, so for every different activity, be it running or cycling, different body muscles are being used. And you need to ensure that you are doing the right exercises for warm up and cooling down for those specific muscles. For example, for cycling, your hamstrings are mostly used, right? So you need to ensure that you basically warm up and cool down at least those muscles. So while we talk about warm up and cool down, it is also important to do some on-ride stretching. So this is one of my favorite image or favorite picture, where you can see you can just simply, when you stop for a sip of water, right? It doesn't take more than 5 minutes. Like first one, there's like 20 seconds. Second one again 20 seconds. For example, like that, you can simply do this. It will just keep your muscles relaxed, stretch, and it will avoid cramping and any other injury. So this is very, you can just do it with your bike, right? So you don't need any other instrument for that. If anybody wants, I can share this image, or you can just simply search it on a Google. You'll find it. So this is very, very important. Stretching is very important because it's just not about that particular ride. You have to ride in your bucket list, right, in the upcoming time duration. So you need to ensure that you don't get injured. Okay, so again, this is my favorite image, but don't go about that. So what we are talking about here is we need to aware about possible injuries, right? So that we can prevent them. Otherwise, if you are not aware, then we may not prevent them, and it will just impact our performance. It will injure us, and then we will just end up in spending a lot of time, wasting a lot of time on getting recovered. So cramps is one of the basic injury in cycling, and this is one of the basic reason why we get cramps is dehydration. Dehydration is one of the reasons. If we do not take sufficient intake of, let's say, sugar or salt and water, then you are tend to have cramps. So that is how you can avoid it. Chafing, or you can also call it as a skin irritation or skin rashing, right? Because for a endurance cycling, we are sitting on a saddle for a very long duration, for 4 hours continuously, maybe 5 hours, and then you tend to have skin rashes. So how you can avoid it? Like there are several market products available which you can use to avoid chafing. But the simplest one is your coconut oil, right? You can use parachute oil or any other coconut oil, right? Just to apply it on the skin, and it will help you from chafing. Then muscle soreness, we just talked about stretching before, after, and during ride. That would help you to keep you away from muscle soreness. And dehydration also, we talked about it. So it is important to keep your body hydrated before the ride and during the ride, and just keep yourself hydrated with not just water but all the minerals. Okay, so the important point, safety measures, because we are in India, we know how busy our roads are, and we know how people follow the rules on the road. So we have to be very careful when we are on the road. We Right. So the very important and the must to have thing is helmet. You need to have a good quality helmet, which will save your head in case of any unfortunate accident. Right. You need to always ride on the right to the left. Right. Maybe 3 foot from left of the road you can ride, and then don't ride in parallel. Just ride one after another. That will not block the road, and it will save you from unfortunate accidents. Then use hand gestures. It is very easy. I mean, a simple way to inform, when you are turning left or right. But it is also important thing because otherwise the other vehicles may not know if you are turning. Right? Dress to ride is again one more important thing. We know that we have, gel pads, we have parade shorts, we have cycling jerseys. Uh, when we start, maybe we may not, buy those things, but it is very important to use those right, dress. uh, the dry fit clothes, right? Like this jersey, it will keep your body cool, right? It will keep the airflow going on. You don't. The key thing is you don't have to wear the inner wear, right? Inside your jersey or inside your parade shorts, because otherwise it may again damage your skin. Those these jerseys and this parade shorts or gel shorts, the material is basically designed to stay with your skin. Again, none of the parade shorts will keep you away from traveling for longer duration, maybe not more than for 3-4 hours. But then with intermittent breaks and with some of the products, you can avoid caffeine. So dress to ride is very important. Use reflectors. For the rear light, you need to have red reflector, and for the front, you need to have white lights. The rear light is most important because you need to inform the vehicles coming from your behind that there is some bike riding, right, so that they adjust their speed accordingly. Also, keeping yourself awake for long duration ride, like for 300 kilometers, for 400 kilometers, for 600 kilometers, you're riding throughout 24 hours, right? And then you get tired, and then you eat a lot of food, and when you are hungry, and then you get dizziness, right? So the key thing is that you need to keep yourself awake, because it may save from accidents again. So the key thing that I use is simple thing. You use uh, coffee sachet, just small, you use a small uh, quantity of a coffee, and then just put it on your tongue, and then it will keep you awake for at least a couple of hours. Okay, again it is all up to the individual choices, but this is the simplest way to keep yourself awake. Okay, now we are talking about the key things. So before we talk about mind power, right? So just imagine a vehicle, a four-wheeler, which has a CNG fitted in, right? So what we do is we have a CNG tank, as well as you have a petrol or diesel tank, right? So we use, let's say, CNG, and when it is over, when it is finished, when it is out of CNG, right, then we switch it over to petrol. This is how it works here as well, right? When our body is tired, then your mind works, because your mind knows what is your body is capable of. Okay, and that is how it starts. So what I've seen is, right, this mind power game, right? It basically starts in your second half of the ride, right? When you're low on the physical power, when you're tired, when your legs are tired, when your muscles are sore, right? When you are not able to push it hard, right? Then it comes to the mind power, right? Uh, and then it will help you to move ahead. Okay. So now, how do we use that mind power? Right. It is again up to individual own strategies. How do we motivate yourself? Right. You can use short breaks. Break targets basically. So what I do is basically I say, okay, let's say after 25 kilometers, I will stop and have a sip of water, and then move ahead. Right. I'll just get a couple of seconds, break there, and then it will give me some energy to move ahead. Right. You can have some energy drinks. Right, if you like, if you want, right, whatever way will keep you motivated, right, which will just keep your mind motivated. You can use that. You can also do, you can dance on your favorite beats as well. whatever you like, right? You can do that, and you can rejuvenate your mind so that if your mind is fresh, even if your body is tired. Uh, you can also imagine the success at the destination. This is something that I also did in my couple of long rides. So if you're tired, you can just imagine that if you're reaching tomorrow to the destination, what kind of success, how do you feel, right? How do you feel about that success? You can imagine that so that it will help you to push ahead. Okay. And the key thing is you need to train yourself, right? So when we talked about the initial strategies for the endurance cycling, you need to track your regular rides, right? There are a lot of applications available in the market. Strava is one of them. You have Garmin, you have Amazfit. There are a lot of smart watches, smart devices, and your basically software applications available where you can track your rides in terms of your speed, in terms of your elevation, in terms of your duration, in terms of your kilometers, right, in terms of your distance. And then you can look at your performance. I mean, you can only improve upon your performance when you know what is your current performance, right? That is where you need to track all of your activities and then improve upon it based on all of these factors which we just talked about. Okay. So yeah, I mean, your body can withstand almost anything. It's just your mind that you have to convince, right? So this is very, very important. Okay. Yeah, and you can see this picture, and it just talks about it, right? Just a mind game. This guy is a Spanish Paralympic cyclist, uh, John Dos Mendes, who has won a lot of many medals in this cycling events in 2008 and before 2008. So I mean, if he can do it, and why can't we do it? Right? This is how we need to motivate ourselves. I mean, about me also, I just started cycling a couple of years ago, and then I didn't imagine also that I could ride from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and we did it, right? Because when you keep on improving upon your performance during your practice, right, you keep on getting more confidence, right, to ride more, and then you do it accordingly. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's all. I hope I was able to cover what I wanted to cover, and it was helpful to you. Uh, I think we can open the session for any questions now.
Yes, sir. Vijay, sir, you were indeed awesome in your presentation. The most beautiful sentence I would say was, the mind power starts when the physical power gives away. It was a very crisp information to all those who are gearing up for cycling. And we are honored to have been listening to you. So there are a few questions in our chat box in the YouTube and the Zoom. So I'll just ask them one by one. So the first one is,
Okay.
if it is an endurance that we are looking onto, whether it is a single speed or a geared bike which is preferred, which one would be preferred if you're going for endurance?
So yeah, obviously geared bike is preferred. I have seen some of my ride mates who did use a single speed bike, but you'll have to put on more efforts, and then yeah, it will not help you to move faster as well. So obviously preferred is geared bike. And nowadays you can, I mean, even if you talk about the budget, if you, for example, if you go to a decathlon, you can simply go for a cheapest bike, I mean, road bike for that matter, geared bike. The
Okay.
options are available. Preferred is geared bike.
Okay. Okay, sir. So next question is, when we are looking for a long distance cycling, so how do you maintain your correct posture when we are practicing for long distance cycling?
Yeah, I think that's the important question, and that is very important thing during your ride. You need to ensure that you have a correct posture. The very basic things, right? If you, for example, if you're using a flat bar, if you're using an MTB or hybrid bike, right, and if you keep your hands very stiff during your ride, it is going to harm your overall entire arm. It is going to harm. Okay, so you need to use it like a shock up, right? So you need to keep it easy, right? Make it bend whenever possible. If you get any shocks, keep it bent. Same thing with your back, again, which is very, very important. You need to maintain your posture. So, how do we do it? The very first thing is your bike. You need to have a right side bike, and you need to have a properly adjusted your saddle bar, right, where you sit. So that is also important in your posture. And obviously, you need to know your body and then make yourself proper in that posture during the ride.
Okay. So one more question is, if we are having a headache while cycling, so how do we manage it? Or have you ever had this, and how did you manage it?
Yeah, I mean, there are different reasons for headache. Maybe you didn't had a good sleep last night. Maybe you have acidity uh, because you didn't had a lot of water intake, or maybe because of cold, right? So, for example, for the cold, right, you need to ensure that you have covered your entire head and ear with uh, with some cap, right? It will keep you away from the cold air going into your ear, and it will not ensure that you don't get a headache. But if you get a headache, I mean, again, it's all up to individual. If you might have some your personal medicines if you want to have it, or maybe you can stop and have a sip of tea or coffee. I would prefer coffee. It will keep you awake and maybe keep you away from the headache. So,
Actually, there are more questions coming on food. What is the right food to eat before a meal, before the cycling event and after the cycling event? So what should be the schedule?
yeah. So as I said, right, in your routine diet, you need to make ensure that you have a right portion of protein. And just before the ride, what I would prefer is some energy foods like maybe boiled potato or boiled sweet potato, which is light on your stomach, and you can digest it easily. Even bananas, you can digest it easily. Even if it has calories, you can digest it easily. Those are the things you can have it. Or if you want to have some meal, you can go for normal dal khichdi thing, which will be light on your stomach. So this is before ride, at least a day before your ride, long ride. And after ride, I mean, again, don't immediately jump onto the heavy food. Uh, Take it slowly.
So one more question which has come up is how to adjust the seat to our height. Is there
Yeah,
any
so
specific, distance or how to maintain that?
So your seat height is directly proportionate to your overall height. Right. So you need to, I mean, most of the cycles or all of the cycles comes with adjustable seats where you can adjust your seat height. So better to do with any cycle shops where they know that how much your seat height has to be as per your height. So you can do it easily. Even you can do it on your own. And when you do it for yourself, when you know this height is sufficient, and when this height of seat is right, then you just do some marking on your saddle bar so that next time you know if it is changed, next time you know that what is the right size of your saddle.
Okay. So one more interesting question is, does running help increase our speed of cycling?
It does not actually. Both are different uh, sports. Again, I mean, running uses different muscles and cycling uses different muscles, even though both uses legs, pedal and to run. And it does not improve actually, as per my experience, but it will help you to keep yourself active. So if you're not able to ride for some of the reason, and if you're able to run, you can do that. Even for my Kashmir to Kanyakumari ride, just 1 month before that ride, I was only running just to keep myself active.
Okay, sir. One more interesting question again is, can cycling help me lose my weight?
It will definitely help you to lose your weight. It will give you a very nice body shape if you do it consistently. Definitely, because you are burning calories, and if you're talking about endurance cycling, if you're doing like 100 and 200 kilometer rides, you can definitely think of losing weight. Yeah, it's a better way. Even you can use it for commute. It will save the nature. And even if it is like my office is 19-20 kilometers away from my home, so I used to go on a bike. And when you go on a bike, other people see, and they also think that it is also possible to commute on a bike. It is easiest thing to absorb, right? And they also can follow you.
Okay. So one more question, meaning if you can share your own experience actually on this, that how do you manage your stay and other things during self-supported rides when you're, going alone?
Yeah, yeah. So the long ride that I had, Pune to Kanyakumari and Kashmir to Kanyakumari, both of those rides were you can say self-supported. So we used to carry all our luggage on your bike, and in terms of your stay, in terms of your food, etc. what we did is before we started the ride, we planned like how per day how much kilometer we are going to ride, and typically at what destination we are going to take a halt for that night, right? So you do that planning, but as always things don't go as per the plan. So you need to keep yourself awake, right? And then when it is like it is about to dark, let's say if it is 5:30 in the evening, then you know that okay, in a couple of hours you need to stay somewhere. So you need to stop and then ask people about the nearest place. You might have to go back a little if there is no place in next, let's say 50-60 kilometers, and if it is going to be dark. There could be some places where it is not suggested or recommended to ride due to some local things. So you need to take local people advice on all of these things, and they will definitely help you throughout. Okay, in terms of food, in terms of your stay, these people are amazed to see you riding throughout throughout the duration, and they are going to help you to identify the right places to stay, right places to eat.
Okay. So I would like to take up this moment and congratulate you for breaking the record for going from Kanyakumari and doing that ride so well. So thank you so much for being with us, for sharing so much of information with us. And we are really honored to have you. I would also like to thank our national head, Dr. Ruchi Varshney ma'am, our zonal head, Dr. Pooja Kamre ma'am, our state coordinator, Dr. Suvarna Ganvir ma'am, our state joint coordinator, Dr. Snehal Patel ma'am, our Dr. Uttara Mohan, our state sub-coordinator, as well as the person behind this who is encouraging the technical team as well as helping us out in this technical team. So thank you, ma'am. I also thank Dr. Priya Karande ma'am and Dr. Nirali Sangvi ma'am. Thank you so much. Also our district coordinator, Dr. Manal Antikat ma'am, as well as Dr. Sheetal Limme. Thank you so for being with us. I think I should be closing down the session. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. It was my pleasure to be with all of you, and thank you, Dr. Manal, to be very patient with all the information that you gave in whatever extent. So thanks for your patience. Thank you very much.
Our pleasure, sir.